Okay. So, a couple different things with sacrums now. What I've started doing, especially when it's here and we can't get it, I've been used to kind of pushing, doing all that stuff. What I've started doing is go up onto your, I know I've just been testing this out, and it seems to be working. So I'm going to put this underneath your hip. So we're going to put it right on kind of that pubic bone. Make
That's
that
too high.
Okay.
Go lower with it.
Right here.
Yep.
Is that good? Comfortable? Okay, so lay down now. So what that's going to do is because if they're having problems with right in here, what it's going to do is it's going to curl the sacrum. So to put a towel underneath the pubic bone, it's actually going to take that sacrum and pop it up this way, which is going to help me into those deep muscles right in through there. Okay. Now if I do have to push hard this way, then we're going to need another bolster for over here. Does that make sense? And sometimes it's just going to be just something like that. I'll explain it as we go on. So now you can feel, actually, the hips, the muscles on the lower part of the sacrum. Right in through here, you can feel where they're attached. And what you're feeling is actually the gluteus maximus, where it attaches to the edge. See, that comes clear down into there. Then it goes down to the hamstrings.
Good job.
Hey, you got Josh to jump yesterday.
Couple times.
Couple times. Kick that leg. I'm impressed. Okay. So this is just really gonna hurt my hands. So what I do is I'm just trying to
Your
figure it out.
hands?
Yeah, they're gonna hurt my hands because it's going right on bone on muscle.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I got a pretty good idea of what's going on now. So I'm gonna start here. Okay. I'm gonna start like this. I'm gonna find where I want to be. New. Right there. So I'm gonna kind of just rotate. Yeah. So once I'm on it, I think I showed you this yesterday. Once you hit it and you pin it,
Oh yeah.
you're going to turn
Slide
it
it
and it'll
against.
slide that muscle, push it right up against the bone. That way it can't flip over you. Feel that in there? Is that going down your leg at all? Or is it
Yeah, it's kind of a, yeah.
Is it going just right about to here?
No, I feel it down in the calf too.
You go down in the calf. Okay, awesome. So I'm just going to kind of show you guys how I really just kind of work. Yeah, it just kicked me off. So I got to shift. Alright, there's the problem. So I'm going to start here again. I'll shift my feet. I just shifted my feet and I just lost it. Dang it. There it is. So by me coming this way, can't find it. So I've got to come like this. This is where we're going to find it. Okay, it's up a little higher. There it is. There it is. Da-da-dee-doo. Okay, good. There you go. Deep breath.
I don't know what the one is pushing on under my hip over here, but it hurts.
Right here?
The
Or right
bolster.
here?
Right, the bolster hurts. I don't know if it's this.
No, we can move that up.
There we go.
Where you going, Lisa?
Just look at that vacuum.
I'm going to the bathroom and I'll be right back.
It's funny how she snuck out house look like?
Because we're recording. Okay, so now I'm in it.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Now we hear it.
There it is. Okay. And if you got a bolster underneath their hips like this, you gotta need to check in, all right? How's the bolster underneath the hips? Isn't pushing on too much? Whatever.
Okay, so when you're doing it, you see you holding the foot like that.
Oh.
Ah! Yes.
A lot of times I'll hold it this way, just
Mhm.
because it's hard to hang on that way.
That's
Is there a
fine.
difference, or is there a reason? Is it
No.
because you got the, does it help to have the foot flexed?
No, this,
Okay.
this is just,
Just where you,
I'm just resting.
okay, alright.
Normally, okay, so the lower it gets down to here, I'm gonna hold it this.
Uh-huh.
If like I'm here,
Uh-huh.
this is just
Okay.
easier for me.
Alright, okay, because for me, it's just, I have
Uh-huh.
short arms.
You have
and-
short arms, yeah.
So it's hard, but I didn't know if there was
Yeah.
something about maybe flexing the foot or something.
What it can be a little bit is just put a little bit of pressure on that, is gonna pop the hip up just a little more, like to push it down on the table. But
So if it's being
really,
difficult, maybe that could help?
Yeah.
Okay.
and you could even just kind of rest, and I've even had sometimes where I'll just do
Oh,
this. And I'll be like, oh yeah, yeah.
I think it's a
There you
massage in.
Oh.
Yeah, but that's how I'll start, is just like this, and I just kind of hold it,
Okay.
I'm holding it here. Because what happens is if you're holding it here, and they find a good spot,
Mm-hmm.
so if you hold it like this, and they spasm, I kind of have control where this goes.
Okay. Not that I need
No.
problems with that, so.
And the first time you get kicked,
Anyway.
then you'll do it. Do you feel that thing just pump so good?
Oh, wow.
Okay, so now, right through here, you can feel it. You felt it before, right? So I want you to
Oh, it's
feel
feeling
here.
here.
So feel here now, how soft that is right there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you start traveling, all of a sudden, that knot is sitting right in there.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where we're gonna get now,
Okay, good.
okay?
The glutes are the ones I have less trouble with.
That's, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
less trouble that
It's
way.
getting into the arms
Yeah.
and the calves and.
Yeah. And the other reason that I've been
Sometimes.
holding it like this too lately
Uh-huh.
is for some reason I just can't bend over as much. So I've been using a lot more fists and standing up straighter.
Okay.
So to do it like this,
Mm-hmm. Right.
Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, for
so
sure.
here, it's
Yeah.
actually just been more
Mhm.
easy where I can just kind of just lean on things,
Right.
especially on the glutes. Because I've had some pretty like clients, I'm just like, I can't.
And most of the time I have to get in from my elbow because my
Yep,
fist
there
just
we go.
gets too
Yeah,
tired.
it does, it gets too tired.
So I'm down here like this and to
Mhm.
be up like that is
Mm-hmm, yep.
a lot.
And with most glutes, I'm down here majority of the time.
Yeah.
One, it's just, you just can get so much more.
Yeah, yeah, get more area and
More
just
area,
get in and
get in
move
there.
around. Yeah, I can, yeah.
Oh. Holy cow. Yeah, we're finding good stuff.
Oh, you think? That comes up here.
Good. No, 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 no. Come on. By the way, I thought that was really funny how you really started singing with Gina the other day. So cool. 'Cause she will, I'll just start singing, she'll
That
be
was
like,
awesome.
oh.
She was telling me about it. She goes, sometimes he'll sing to me. And then she was telling me that she was talking about some of the songs they were singing in her choir. And she mentioned "Oh Happy Days." That was what
Ah.
I was saying now.
There we go.
But I couldn't remember the rest of it
There
because my
we
brain
go.
wasn't there.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Oh.
Yep,
Whoa.
yeah. And that's sore.
Mm-hmm.
Or
I
you-
like doing glutes because I feel like you just get so much results.
Oh, yeah.
It just feels like the results come faster and they're
Yeah.
so dramatic and they just help everything.
Well, and one of the reasons is because there really is, the glute muscles are just so thick,
Yeah.
okay? They're not,
Those
you can
tiny
just
ones
push
that
and
you
push,
have
they're
to-
not the real tiny ones.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember also that a lot of these real tiny ones, I'm actually pinning that muscle up against the bone on the back side.
Right.
So I'm actually, it's a 2-for-1. I'm trying to get it to where the muscle, because the muscle will be like this and it'll go, I'm actually using the bone, the surface of the bone,
Right,
to get a release as well.
that makes sense.
Absolutely.
My leg's awake.
You're what?
My leg is awake.
Oh, yay. That's
Well,
blood
good
flowing.
morning. Sometimes you have to acknowledge that, say good morning.
Thank you.
Lisa's good at that. Good morning.
Good morning.
morning.
Good morning.
Good morning
It's
again.
great to say
It's still
good morning.
morning.
Good morning.
That's right. Your hair and your shirt and your shoes, you are so coordinated today.
I planned it.
Good. You did a good job.
I think
You did a good job. I don't coordinate my hair quite as well, I guess.
I know this awesome gal up in Ogden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She does amazing things with hair.
Hey, how do you know my sister-in-law again?
Who, me?
Cynthia.
I went to an event in California and met her there.
Oh, okay.
And my daughter knows her through some other groups. There's just kind of this group of women that do things, and
Mhm.
I know a lot of the women in that group.
Okay.
And
I was gonna ask you, cause I was like,
occasionally I step into the group and
Uh-huh.
do things with them. It was the quickening thing they did out there. I don't know if you know any of that.
oh, in California?
Jennifer Lamprey,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Maria Olson. Do you know Maria?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm really good friends with Maria. I've known her for years and years. We've done a lot of homeschool stuff together. And when she very first started teaching her energy group, I hosted her class. And
So what's coming up on a 10-year reunion for you then?
for me,
Yeah,
10-year reunion.
it was a 10-year, some business or something, it was like, I was seeing it,
Oh, the Royal Simulation.
Yeah, what's
Oh, yeah.
that?
That's an event I do. We teach roles of men and women, but we use etiquette as a tool to teach those roles. We call it our Royal Academy for Future Kings and Queens of Zion.
So is it kind of like a masculine, feminine energy type thing? Or is it
No,
more of
it's
a-
youth. It's for youth, 14 and up.
Oh, okay.
And we started 10 years ago when my daughter was turning 16 and said, Mom, none of these boys know manners and I'm going to be dating. And so we said, well, let's do some classes. And it turned into this 2-day thing where we said, well, let's have a talent show and learn performance etiquette, and let's do classes on etiquette and dating and socializing with each other, because we're all homeschoolers.
Yeah.
And then we said, oh, we can do dining etiquette and have a formal banquet, and then we'll have a big dance afterwards, and then we'll do dance instruction while we're at it, because no one knows how to dance.
No.
And so we did that. We did a couple hours, we did some ballroom dance a couple times. It was fabulous. And then we just had a lot of people like, my kids weren't old enough to come. Can you do it again?
I was just thinking, when my son gets about 15, 16, I think I'm going to send him to that class,
It's
just to let you know.
fabulous. And we teach etiquette, but I really focus on who we are and our potential as
Good.
kings and queens,
I love
because
it.
I just use etiquette as the
Fun.
tool to remind us of that. Because without that,
Yeah. No, that's beautiful. I like that.
so I still have kept it from an LDS perspective. I haven't non-denominationalized it because I just.
You don't need
And
to.
I tell them, I said, this is where we're teaching from. And we
Yeah.
started with 40 kids our first year, and we've had consistently about 150 the last few years.
Nice. Yeah. Oh, there's no reason to change it then. Like,
That's great. And they come back and they come back. And it's fun. We do activities and we do a big simulation in the afternoon. The girls all get tiaras. We used to give the boys crowns, but they hated it, and it was a nightmare logistically. Getting crowns to fit all those different sizes of heads from 14 to 18-year-old
no, that's
boys.
true.
So now we do rings, and they say "Man of God" on them, and they're cool rings.
Cool.
We get a different style each year. And they love it. We give them man cards. The girls get like a necklace or a
There we go.
bracelet.
So-
we have all sorts of things. It's really fun. We love
So
it.
Jared, on that
Yeah.
leg,
Yeah.
that outside of my left foot will go numb
Okay.
down to my toe.
Right here.
Yep.
So that'd be this one, right?
Mhm. Well, and that one depends. Now, if it goes numb, it could be this one. But it also could be this one under here.
Interesting, okay.
My first guess would be
That's
that.
where you'd probably
That's where
go
it'd probably
first, right?
start.
Okay.
But even just holding her leg like this, I'm like, I would
You,
kind of
okay.
go more up into here.
Mm.
Now, if that's one of the symptoms she came in with, yeah, my brain is like, okay, let's check that calf.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
How old's your boys now?
One's 12. Well, one will be turning 12, the other one's turning 7.
So we'll still be doing it a little bit, because I have a 12-year-old that says I can't stop doing this before she gets to start coming.
Mm-hmm. What's the age? 14?
Yeah.
Should I might send him at 14?
You what?
I might send him at 14.
That'd be awesome. We have people.
No, I would. I would. I think it's marvelous.
It's been great. The guys love it. You know, the guys especially like it when
Ha
you teach them how to dance. Then they're not as afraid to dance. I know. We don't do the deacon shuffle.
Yeah. especially, like if you're like,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why we specifically teach ballroom.
yeah.
But we teach it, we don't necessarily teach, here's this step and here's that. Here's, if you have a 3-beat, here's some dance steps you can do. If you have a 4-beat, here's some dance steps you can do. And here's how you lead.
Are you kidding? When I was in high school, I knew how to ballroom. Like I could
That's awesome.
waltz, and I could. The funnest one was the polka.
Oh, yeah.
Holy smokes,
Yeah.
you dance all over the place.
We love that one.
And
So we have
when-
these 2 big pillars in the middle of the
Yeah.
room. That is just what.
But I remember there was lots of times at like state dances that
Mhm.
when music like that came on,
Yeah.
people were like, hey, let's dance. I get the polka, I get
Right,
the next one.
right.
I was like,
It makes you popular.
okay.
I know. It does. You know how to dance. The girls appreciate it.
And really, here's the thing, you really don't have to be coordinated to know how to dance.
And you don't even have to dance on the beat. Honestly, if you can lead, just move, dance, learn how to twirl around a few times. It's fun.
Yeah. So I knew how to do just the waltz and, basic, and then when I was in college, I took a community dance class.
Oh, fun.
Learned the foxtrot
Nice.
and just a bunch of different things. I was like, holy cow, this is freaking.
We do the waltz and the swing and the cha-cha because
Mhm.
that's a lot more for a lot of the modern things, has more of that beat. Sometimes we'll throw in some foxtrot, but mostly, like I said, we try and show them you don't have to have a little routine. Because when you go to a ballroom dance class, a lot of times they teach you a routine. They teach you have to do this, and there's a lot of focus on technique. And we're like, forget all that, just go out and have fun. And we have the funnest dances. The kids all say, when are you going to do another dance? I like those dances. I want to come to these dances.
Do you
They
teach
love
them
it.
like the swing?
Yeah, and they want to teach each other different things.
Do you
When-
teach them the country swing or do you teach
No,
them
we just do the East Coast.
East Coast?
Yeah. But, because we don't usually play a lot of country music.
Teach them the jitterbug?
I haven't. It's a little more. We've done a little bit. It just depends. They kind of teach each other. When we first started, almost nobody did ballroom.
Uh-huh.
And now as we do it, more than half of them know ballroom and have taken ballroom. So they teach each other stuff as they go along. That's really
cool.
great.
That's really cool. I think Tanner would get a kick out of that. He loves me so
It is so fun. And the boys even like it, which is great because it's hard to get them there sometimes. Like, I want to go learn etiquette. That sounds boring.
But we feed you. All right.
We do. We feed them the meals. We have lots of food, and there's lots of cute girls. Usually that'll get them there, and then they like it and come back.
Mhm. And they tell their friends, because really they're like, dude, you guys gotta come. And that's why I like community dance. One of the requirements was, if she said, girls, if a guy asks you to dance, you cannot say no.
Yeah,
This is part of your grade.
right.
Oh, that
Right.
goes clear down to my foot.
No rejection.
Have no rejection.
Yeah, and then part of it is we have them ask a girl, so they escort her to the banquet, so they're sitting together and practice all that stuff that they would do on a date and stuff. But we have to emphasize, this isn't an engagement.
That's important.
This isn't a date. You're just eating together.
Wow.
Not a lifelong commitment.
Okay, so on hers, I couldn't get, so on Cimarron yesterday, you know how
Yeah.
it dropped you into
Right,
it?
right, yeah, I was.
It wasn't dropping me
Oh,
in.
okay.
So I had to come from this way and lift it up and drop in on it.
Okay.
And then I just kind of had to hold it there.
Okay.
because.
Yeah, I say
Does
so,
that make sense?
you know, getting
So I just,
rotations,
so
you just
what
said
I
no.
what I was doing is I was just kind of manipulating it myself, so I kind of move
Okay.
it back and forth, and then it finally let go.
Okay,
So I'd loosened all of this, but I needed to get into here, and it
Right.
wasn't letting me, and I couldn't get in that way.
Yeah,
So I
okay.
just came and just went like
Okay.
that, and it kind of dropped me, and,
and
I
then
just
just
kind
moved it around.
of shimmied it a little bit.
Good to know. Yay, jiggly buns. Look at that, woohoo!
You feel that difference right here?
Yeah,
Yay,
I got blood flow to my legs.
Absolutely.
nice.
Yay!
Okay, go into your elbows. Let's see how that mid back feels. Let me just make sure that. Okay. And there are some people too. Okay, how does that feel?
Nice.
There are some clients that no matter what you do on the back of the stomach, if they lay down for a long period of time, low back just hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you have clients like that they're like, my back won't hurt when I lay down for a long period of time. But they watch you work neck and shoulders and everything else. Just stick a little bolster under there and it just
Lift it here.
lifts it there.
Okay, good to know.
So then when they get up, they're like, oh hey, it doesn't hurt. Okay.
Good.
Right arm, left arm.
Right arm.
Okay. So on this, I'm going to show you guys a couple of different ways to get this.
Is that relaxed? Oh, no.
That's relaxed. Just like Josh the other day. Did you tell her? Did you? Okay. So Josh, she was working on Josh and she popped his left shoulder blade loose. I mean, it just relaxed. So she was working on the other side and she was like, why is his shoulder blade so high and everything else? And she couldn't figure it out, and Josh goes, here, let me help you. She goes, oh!
That's right, you did tell me that. I like the blonde moment.
Oh, that's so true. Okay, so I want you guys to feel, so the tricep, yeah, so her inside tricep is curled this way,
Okay.
okay? And the inside tricep, so, back
So
up.
I want to feel that.
The inside and the outside tricep really connect to the inside and the outside brachialis.
Okay.
They run right next to each other.
Oh, right, okay.
Okay? Feel how you can't even get that edge on that inside tricep.
Mm-mm.
That really is what's causing the majority of the pain.
So that little popping feeling there, is that where?
Yeah, see that's,
what's
you
that
should
popping
feel,
right there?
so if you come up here, you can feel the tricep. And then as you get down into it, the edge disappears completely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You, on a tricep, both sides, you should be able to, especially on that inside, you should be able to grab that whole tricep muscle all the way down.
You're welcome.
Anytime. Good job. Good job.
Okay? So, this is probably the most tender spot on the body to work.
I think you
Right
said
in
that
there.
about multiple places.
Yeah.
Some
probably
calves and some.
Inside legs
well,
too.
and those are really, and those are probably the most tender. But when it comes to like the top, anything else, because like you can just put a little pressure on that, and it just zings.
Okay.
So if you try and do this, you just got to be really soft and really careful. But I don't even do that. But if it's now, if it's up in here, you guys saw me with James. I was here on the inside tricep there. I would totally do that because that's the majority of where the muscle, the belly of the muscle is right there. But as you start getting down into here, you start getting a lot of brachialis, bicep, coracoid brachialis. Like there's a lot of different things that are coming into there, and there's a lot of nerves. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find, okay, so right there is where the tricep is. Let me flip over that for you guys. See, and she's so tight right here that it's not even flipping. So that means it's Okay, so I want you guys to watch. So the edge is here on that one. You can get that one to flip, okay? But if I go up here, there's no flip. I can't even find the edge.
So is it all curled under
So
up
it
there?
is all curled. So I've got to come up here. So I'm gonna.
I did it just for you.
It's right there. It's way under there. So here's the brachialis. I pushed that out of the way, and I just found the tricep.
So you're just gonna sit and hold
And
it.
my fingers are all just went down.
More than likely, this is where your mom's problems are,
Okay, it is.
right there. So now, to release this, you're just gonna slide it out straight. There's a little twitch. And you can
Are you holding it on the backside too, or are you just holding?
I'm,
like, is your
I'm
thumb
just
curled
putting,
around?
you
You're
know,
just, okay,
I'm
alright.
just for pressure. And I don't like doing it this way because the hands really get tired really quick.
Yeah.
Yours.
But there's no way I'm even gonna be close to getting my knuckles in there. There we go. Okay, so all that did was we released the brachialis and the tricep. It just split. Okay, so now we're gonna come out and get some blood flow. You should feel some warmth and some tingling
Yep.
down in there. So now I'm just gonna be like, okay, now there's the edge of the tricep. So now go ahead and feel that, and you can actually feel it's really thick here because there's some knots, but you can actually feel now. You can kind of grab that just tricep itself.
Okay.
Yeah, if people's hands go numb, like especially like, oh, my hands are asleep.
Mm-hmm.
I sleep like this. Usually it's because this muscle's so tight when it tries to stretch, it does that, and that's where that nerve is.
Okay.
Go home and try this. So just grab your mom, because you'll probably be like, oh. And she'll be like, my hands just went numb. Good. Or when it starts to wake up, it's a warmth and tingling. Like it'll tingle. Okay, good. So that's broken up. So now I can, there we go.
Sure.
So I'm gonna go, just following the tricep all the way up. Okay, it feels good. So I'm just gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna get that inside tricep now. So I'm just gonna hold it straight. You see that?
Rolled it. Did it roll you off or
It
drop
rolled
you?
me on it.
That rolls you on,
It rolled
okay.
me on it. Did you guys like that accident thing right there?
Mhm. That was cool.
Okay, so I wasn't able to get a really good, so I pinned the tricep between the two knuckles so it doesn't roll. Because in here, now on Josh, somebody that big, you could totally use your forearm. Okay?
Yeah, because when I was in his tricep, I was,
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go. Yeah. Now go ahead and fill that tricep.
It
You
looks
could, you could already
loosey-goosey.
see, you could already
Yeah,
see,
you
it.
can
You could
see it.
see how the triceps just flop to
Mhm.
the outside now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Difference.
Where before you could tell it had curled in. When it happens, that tricep, it curled and brought this one, and then it shortens so it bulges out. So it almost looks swollen. So like a lot of people, they're just like, look how they look swollen. What they've got is muscles that are curled and then tight.
Mm.
So everything's just pushing out. So then right here, that's probably where she feels a lot of pain when she's reading. So what's happening, because she said, it happens a lot when I'm reading. So she's doing this to read, and her tricep was curled onto that brachialis. So when she does this, instead of the tricep muscle extending, it's actually doing this. So then what happens when she puts her book down to straighten her arm, it goes, so she's like this, and she straightens it, and it goes, ding!
Yeah, then it hurts.
So it goes, so she'll put it down and go, oh, and then all of a sudden it'll go, and then it'll relax. You'll see this a lot in bodybuilders, because they walk around like this. They can't put their arms down. That's the reason.
Good to know.
Yep. So now what I'm going to do is get the brachialis, which is right there. Now I'll show you, I'll turn her over and I'll get the brachialis on the front side too. But right there is the brachialis. So give me your fingers so you can feel it. Yeah, I'll feel it that way. Right. Okay, right there. So do your thumb. Yeah, do your thumb. I think it's gonna be. It's right there's the brachialis. Feel that?
Yeah.
Okay. Feel that muscle right. You see how it doesn't want to stretch out?
Yeah, was I on that?
Yeah, you want to go right there.
Yeah.
Just let go. Okay, so what you're feeling, so look, here's the tricep, and there's the brachialis.
Got it.
That uncurled, and that's where I just got to. Okay, so think about it when she's reading, or if somebody's asleep, or somebody's carrying a baby for a long period of time, nursing, okay, or if somebody works out, tricep extensions, bicep curls, and they've got a lot of elbow problems, it's because the inside brachialis and the tricep, and the brachialis outside and the tricep. It's just tight. Follow me? Okay? And a lot of times, it's the elbows that hurt here, because the bicep really is almost stronger than the tricep. You can hold a lot of stuff this way, but to push something down or to push something up takes a little bit more effort.
And it all attaches right in
And it all attaches right to there. Yep. Okay, how's that feel? Good.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, turn over onto your back. So now I'm going to show you how to do. I don't have time for people's opinions when I'm working on them. So now what I'm going to do, so we got the lower one here on this side. I'm going to show you how to kind of move the bicep out of the way and get to the brachialis kind of right in the middle. Now, I will tell you this, that the brachialis here, if it's got a knot underneath the bicep, can actually go up and cause a headache.
Wow.
What? Okay, what?
Brachialis, if you've got a knot under the bicep, it can give you a headache.
You actually,
Serious?
yeah, because what'll happen is this will cramp and attach to here, and it'll shoot all the way up to here. I've had people where I've pushed on that and they go, holy cow, that's giving me a headache.
Interesting.
Goes all the way up.
Because that line of attachments. and
Yeah,
sure
it just
kinda
goes right
goes
to
right
there.
there.
Okay, so, look at that tricep. See the camera? Okay, so we got the attachment down into here. Now, with forearms, okay, that we talked about, if you want to, if you're working face down, carpal tunnel, stuff like that, you've got time, you can come over and get the bicep here where it attaches into there as well. Okay, so you can do both of those. That's a really good spot for carpal tunnel falling asleep as well. And that's just going to be, it's really
Yeah.
tender, so it's where the brachialis and the forearms attach. And what you do is you just fold up on it like this, and what you're doing is you're just twisting it like that. Because what you're doing is if you look over there on the chart on the left hand with the guy facing us, I'm in that gap between where the brachioradialis, nope, go to the other hand, right there. And so I'm twisting that to get, there it is. Pop.
Goes the weasel.
There. Okay. So now for for the brachialis, this is kind of fun because you can see the bicep. The bicep just always flips. I've just come to the conclusion that the bicep is there just to look good. That's it. Because if a bicep tendon breaks off, very rarely do they go in and fix it. Very rarely, because there's no pain. Yeah, it's the brachialis and the coracoid brachialis that actually would give the strength of the bicep. The bicep muscle actually is just really the glamour muscle. That's it. That's all it's for. That or to hit people in football. Okay. So the brachialis, the belly of it, so it kind of comes this way. Okay, it kind of curves that way. So I'm going to push the bicep down, and I generally will kind of do it with those two fingers and move it this way. So if I'm going to do that, I will find it, move it out of the way, and then I'll drop right down on the brachialis, right there.
Yep.
Now does that go at all up there? If not, that's fine.
No.
On James, they did. When everything was really, really tight on him, I'd hit this and he goes, oh, and it would go right to his eye. And then you just do like you do the hamstring. Up and down. Up over. There. Did you feel that one? Ta-da! Right there. Okay. So we're going to kind of shift. I moved the bicep the other way, and now I'm on the brachialis, and where the coracoid brachialis attach. And I'm just kind of moving that back and forth.
Wow, that one comes up in the
Okay.
So she's getting, you can see the
Yeah.
red, the face there.
So that one's going through the shoulder. Gotcha. Oh.
Oh, it's not very.
Dun, dun,
Oh.
You're so loud.
And I will, I'll do that to my clients. I'm like, there you go. They're like, so I just kind of play around with them. I mean, really, this is kind of like what this is. So what I'm doing now is just kind of the edge of the deltoid. There. That was. All right, let's work on your. What else did you want? Oh, okay.
I had gallbladder surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, it just, man, my ribs get to hurting because, I try to get under it, but it's,
Well, more than likely, she's probably got it up in here as well.
I take my bra off as soon as I get home because it's sitting right
Yeah.
there, it makes my ribs hurt. And it's not even an underwire.
Yeah, it's right there.
Okay. What are you feeling?
Okay, so
Pain.
there's a little
Lots of
gap
pain.
right there. Okay, so let me. So you're gonna kind of go up. There's a
Oh.
little
Sorry.
between. There's a gap right between your rib. Where's
The
my?
intercostals?
Uh huh.
Okay.
Oh, let me. Rachel, will you go get my skeleton poster off that wall?
Mr. Bones.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Mr. Bones.
Yeah. So if you go right where that wire hits, just above it. There's this one, and then there's one above it. And the one above it is where the pec and the stomach attach.
Okay.
Okay, so anything under here, I'll pull it down and I'll push it in before I come under here and get
Do
it.
you want to hold it or mix it up?
I just put it right there, thank you. Yeah, see that's
So,
what's pushing. Now you can do one of two things.
okay.
I think what we did with Carmi was I
We're just
pulled it
kinda pulled it
down.
down, yeah.
You can stretch here out, but see that's not doing anything where it's attached to. So I'm gonna switch here and I'm gonna stretch this out and that's where it's pulling from.
Instead of just pulling it down.
Yeah. Now we can pull it down, like I can do this and I pulled it down, but then I'm also, because she complained of under there,
Oh, I see, okay. But if the pain was just coming
if
from
the
under,
pain
you
was just
probably
coming from right
pull-
there, I just pull it down.
Which is what Carmen's supposed to do.
Or here, stretch the pec out a little bit. By the time, with Carmi, by the time I pulled it down to here, the muscle let go. So I pulled it down to here and I can feel an awful lot of tension on it. So that we know we've still got either this is curled
Mhm.
or that's pulling.
Okay.
You know, if it's a family member, you just kind of want to see how much pain they can tolerate before they tell you to stop. There we go. There we go.
Okay, now did it release or did it drop you further into the?
It released.
Okay.
Yeah. There's, if it dropped me farther into here,
Well, you got your intercostal.
I'm probably going to be massaging her liver.
Oh, we love your liver.
Might need it.
Yeah. So, but now I can get into here. Here's a knot. Yeah, you curled that pretty good. Let's see if we can get it
You're
on.
welcome.
Yeah, see? I want you guys to feel the difference between that side and under here.
Yeah, because I can get my own fingers under this side pretty good with this one.
That one is just stuck.
It's a little flippy right there.
It's a little flippy right there. Mhm.
In fact, when I do it, I get a,
You should feel mine.
something pops. you
Is there
know.
an edge to those ribs?
Well, that's why I do both sides. Okay? Right there. And really, there's not an easy way to do this. So you just say, take a deep breath and hold on, because this is going to kind of hurt.
Well, that's what that muscle does, is
Yeah.
you breathe.
So I'll either kind of help force it out with the rib cage on this side, or I'll take my palm and I'll force the stretch over this way. This way is more painful, but it feels really good for breathing. But then when it drops you back, it drops you on here. So what she's got tight is where the transverse oblique and the rectus abdominis meet, right here. So I'm just grabbing that rib cage and I'm pulling it out. Because I just can't grab the edge of it, or else that's what I would do. And there's some people that you can.
Yeah. Yeah, like when some people, you just get in there and work,
Mhm.
and it's amazing.
There she is. Yeah, maybe we are gonna massage her liver. Okay, so it's so tight, I needed to drop in there, so I'm not gonna pull it out to drop in. I'm gonna give it some slack to drop in. Follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now I'm gonna pull it out. There it is. There it went.
Okay, now did you push on the rib cage?
I pushed on the rib cage underneath.
Okay.
So I pushed it in this way and the thing just went bloop, just like that.
Good breathing, good breathing.
There you go. Okay, now put both hands underneath your rib cage.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, yeah, Joe. Good afternoon.
that was
pretty.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel a little lightheaded on that one. Now what
No,
this,
but I could feel that back,
you could
right
feel
back
that.
there.
Yeah, yeah. So I was like, what? Because this wasn't dropping me in. This was, I was like, what in the world? So I just pushed in the back here. When the back went in, everything just went bloop and rolled out.
Oh, I can take a deep breath.
Yeah, you take a deep breath. Now on stuff like this, she's gonna actually take more deep breaths. So she's gonna get more oxygen in.
Yeah.
Okay, with more oxygen when she stands up, she's not gonna feel lightheaded. She'll feel just, what's the word? It's not lightheaded. It's actually she'll have over oxygenated her brain. Because it's almost like we just gave you a steroid shot of oxygen, so you're gonna be like, whoa, like I feel like the '60s.
So,
Yeah,
if you got,
Wow, that feels
that's like if you got something this tight,
you can still get it.
you can
Oh, yeah.
still just kind of work in and do the same thing.
If it's really tight,
Uh-huh.
okay, then I won't just go straight in.
Right.
I'll actually kind of push the rib cage in to give it the slack.
Oh, okay.
And then I'll drop it.
Worked around that way. Okay,
Yeah.
good to know.
So if you want me to show you how to do it, you can.
I'm debating.
Wow. I haven't been
So
able
on
to take a
this,
deep breath like that
Because
forever.
what's gonna happen is I don't want her to sit straight up, especially since
Oh,
we
yeah.
just worked this. Okay? So if I wanna help her up, I'll be like, let me do most of it. But really, just for everything's sake, I'd be like, okay, roll to your right side. Because, now let's say I worked on this side.
I would agree.
Then I would roll her to her left side so she's engaged this side. I want this to relax and stay relaxed as much as possible, so we're gonna have her roll this way, okay? And then I'm gonna help you go ahead and sit up, just like that, and then stabilize her. Because what can happen is they'll sit up and they'll go this way. They'll go, oh, I feel so, and they'll do that.
You look good. You look
Yeah.
bright.
Oh,
Look at her eyes.
Yeah,
that feels so
yeah,
much
take a deep breath.
Your shoulders.
And I can.
You can. And the thing is, so with this in here, okay, so here's this. With this in here, it affects here. Because this has to work harder to take a deep breath. So your forced breathing
Yeah.
is what does it, and that's in your neck. Because your diaphragm doesn't help you actually breathe in. It does a little bit, but your diaphragm is actually for it to clear out.
But it also stretches out those
But it
abdominals
also,
here.
and the other thing that it does, it helps with intestinal stuff.
That feels
Of eliminating stuff. It's an eliminating thing because that's where the transverse intestinal tract goes.
wow.
Okay, let's have you stand up.
Yay.
Now, would you start a session there?
And
Possibly.
what their complaint is probably.
Yeah. I could start a session there. I don't think I've ever started a session there.
Okay.
You want to start there?
No, I'm just wondering, okay, that was the list of her complaints here.
Right.
This wasn't the list. She didn't tell me about that.
Yeah,
She did.
She did.
Okay.
Giving me much problem for quite a while.
Good.
Every now and then I'll get a little
Good.
bit of soreness,
Okay.
but not at all like it was.
Okay. And you're right-handed?
Yes.
That's weird.
What's not?
Yeah.
I can tell you why.
This stomach.
Your stomach.
They make me cough.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no! Boom!
Yay, I couldn't eat raw almonds again.
Yeah!
I know.
I'm just saying.
That was good.
I love raw
Have you had people
I'm gonna pig out
where
on
food allergies have disappeared after you?
Yep. I've had a lot of people, they can eat bread. They've been diagnosed with, what is that? Celiac
Celiac,
disease.
Where you work?
irritable bowel
Just work like
syndrome,
abdominals
where
and
we
stuff.
just worked nothing but abdominals. In fact, I had one gal, she came down with her parents, we worked on her for an hour and a half on the stomach and the pec. We just loosened everything up.
Wow.
The next day she came in, I go, how you doing? She goes, it's been the first day, she said, I had fresh squeezed orange juice. She had strawberries, I had pancakes, I had eggs. She said, I haven't eaten that much breakfast in years. And she goes, I have had no problem. She's actually went off 2 medications. She goes, I just don't have a problem with some off medications.
And was it celiac or?
Irritable bowel. She
Oh,
had
irritable bowel.
really bad irritable bowel syndrome. Really bad. She's off 2 more medications now.
Jerry's dad's always a mess. And I have worked his abs before, just in general, not.
Do you need a chair?
No. Just trying to figure out where she's.
Yeah, this side, Lisa, you and Lisa worked on the other day, and
I was like,
Yeah. it's still a little tender from that, but
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of do something non-conventional that generally, because she's really tight, I think I'm gonna hit the levator scapula first.
because we didn't do that enough this week.
You mean you didn't get yours worked yet?
She did.
Only 5 times.
Oh,
Okay, it's not the levator, it's just the trap. It's the trap.
I looked at some
There you
again.
Okay, it's actually not the levator, it's the trap. There, okay, did you feel that
Yep,
one?
I did.
Okay, now, that should take a little bit of tension away from that.
It did a little bit,
Okay.
yeah. Because I could feel it pulling up there through the
Mhm.
neck
Okay, good.
before.
See, now you can breathe, so the edge is off. It's still, there we go. Now we can get some rolling going.
That's where you're pushing, and my arm is sore.
Right here.
Yeah.
Woo, there you go.
what's that?
I said she just jumped over here. Yeah, ooh, she's jumping all over here.
Right there, that spot when you hit on my arm is sore.
There it is. Okay. There. Now, right there. All right, we got it. Yeah, we got it. That was actually unusual, because when I let up off of it to shift, was when the muscle twitched.
Yeah, something popped.
Uh-huh.
So that my neck. And along the inside of my arm. went all around my
Yeah,
ribs.
there it is. There, did you feel that pop right there? There we go. Hey, look. Holy smokes.
Nicey nice.
This was a good week for work. You can fold my arms and it doesn't pull.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff.
That's pretty.
Oh, I know, let's do it again next month.
Mart reunion.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I will be uninvited.
We can work on you.
When is your first seminar with your next group?
The end of January again. It's
Was
the
that when
same-
we started?
Yeah,
Was
so you
January?
started.
We
Same.
started getting a video.
You started
earlier,
November
but-
1st.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the first training was the end of January.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
January, April,
July.
and the next one's gonna be August. Yeah.
This is a hard time too, just because school's getting back in.
Well, that's the
and-
thing, I would do either the end of August,
Mhm.
Which is worse.
or do it probably not over the 24th of July.
Yeah.
But kind of with how we're gonna be shifting it with everything else, it shouldn't be too bad getting clients in.
Yeah.
But it's just the family reunions in July, that's, it's just
Summer's just hard in
kinda, yeah.
Well, I'm gonna sign up to be a body for your
Yes, I-
seminars.
I think all of us would love to be a bodies for your seminars. And or slash clients for practice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I meant,
Yeah.
client,
Yeah.
yeah.
What say you, Amy?
Ouch.
Oh, suck it up, girlfriend, breathe through it.
That one's really sore.
You had all your summer fun?
Um,
Girls camp and,
yeah, I didn't have to do
Just
girls
camping.
camp this year, I didn't have to do track. My boys were on track this week while I was gone. We did our family reunion over
Big
the
thing in September.
4th of July
Wow.
weekend.
family reunion or something, or just?
Okay, feel that now?
No,
Yeah,
it's
so it's
a
better.
retreat
Still a little
Mhm.
tender where you're pushing, but
Mhm. Yeah,
with horses and
Oh, fun, I wanna go.
that would be fun.
cabin and.
See, we're heading to California in 2 weeks.
we'll be going the end of August, we'll be going to California.
Rachel,
Yeah.
that's what I need you to do. Come here.
You didn't already schedule it out?
Will you call Holly Perez and tell her that when we come down in August on the 10th, so August 10th, I've already talked to her about it, but tell her that I will be coming down and doing massages on Friday the 10th, and then I will get a hold of her. So tell her probably I'll be doing about 6 appointments, and then if she has any questions, I'll call her. But just, we'll call and let her know, because she's supposed to let her know last week, I totally forgot.
So you schedule massages on your vacation?
Then it's a work trip and you write the
And
whole
it's a
thing
work
off.
trip, I can write gas and mileage.
Oh, I
and
gotcha.
Everything else off. Mhm.
So where are you going?
We're gonna go to Pomona,
Mm-hmm.
California. Us and Heather, Wade, the Wades.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go and there's a house down there, it's got like a pool, sits right next to the safari park, it's 30 minutes from the beach. We're gonna go down and just do nothing.
Yep.
Sounds good.
Nice.
We're trying to schedule one of those for our family.
You never had a
Can I
camping
get your
vacation.
number from that phone and put it in this phone?
And
Yeah.
it's not a vacation.
Is it, she should be on her schedule.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
For me, a vacation is just do nothing if that's what I wanna do.
Yeah, see,
Don't
vacations,
schedule all
yeah.
kinds of crap that I have to go do.
Mhm. See, what we did, the best vacation that I ever went, is we went over to Hawaii. And what we did is we had something planned every day. But we did, like, we did something Monday morning, and then we planned something for Tuesday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
So then we planned for then Wednesday morning, and then Thursday afternoon. So it was something right close together, but then we had all day. It felt like we had so much time,
Yeah,
but we still did a lot of stuff.
yeah, when we went down to California last summer, my mom rented, Oceanside, my mom rented a house right on the
Okay,
beach.
feel that one?
Yeah, that's
There you
beautiful.
go.
And we did two things, we drove into, toured the USS Midway, and we went to the Mormon Battalion, other than that.
Yeah,
we
we're gonna
just
go to the Mormon Battalion
hung
too.
out and did
That
nothing.
was good.
Yeah, feel that difference
Went
in
on the
there?
beach and-
Just from loosening this up, it took all the tension off of where I was pushing when I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
here.
And then when you were moving my arm before, it felt like the whole inside was like twisting.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that-
and that's the
It's not about
deltoid.
my elbow, everything else was so exciting, I have to stop looking at it. It looks better. See, this one's, I'm sure this one needs work. It doesn't hurt like the other one, but I can see that it's like swollen, or this one's not like the others.
Now, what I'm not gonna do is this is still pretty tender over
It
here,
is
so I'm
tender,
just
yeah.
gonna
That's
just
okay.
do over here.
It feels like it's still loose, but it is
Oh
tender.
yeah, it's gonna be tender, and that's when you've really known that you really had a good one, is when it's tender to the touch, but not tender to the movement.
It
Yeah.
was for a couple days.
Yeah.
So it was interesting for me, because I sleep on my left side a lot. That didn't seem to be problematic for breathing, but if I roll to my, what did I say? I sleep on my right side a lot. But when I roll to my left side, then I had a harder time breathing,
Why?
because this,
Yeah.
and gravity,
Yeah.
and it's like, and it's just,
So right here, I'm actually on the deltoid tricep.
Which is what I worked on Josh.
That's exactly what we worked on Josh. But you worked on him more up here, and I'm down in here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm down right in here where the deltoid meets the tricep.
Okay.
And here you gotta be a little careful, because that's where nerve runs through. So when I'm here, I'll be like, okay, your hand's going numb. And if it goes numb, I'll just be like, go ahead and grip my fingers. Because if they have strength, it'll come back. What starts to happen, I found, if I push too much, it actually, they're like, I can't even squeeze.
Okay.
In fact, let me just kind of show you what it feels like. It's not gonna go, so right in there.
Yeah.
Can you feel that kind of?
Yeah, you could see it.
Okay, is your hand going numb at all?
No.
Okay. Can you guys hear how her breath has changed from to? So she's good. So what she's, oh, there it went. So right side, future. Okay, shoulders, carrying others' responsibility. But it's along with the tricep, so it's pushing away and carrying. So there's, for me, if you're okay with me telling this,
Yeah, go ahead.
is that she's like, I want to do something in the future, but I'm keeping it at bay because of the responsibilities of others that I might have to carry.
Dang. Yep.
And sometimes I just leave it at that. And they just laugh and they go, okay, get
Yep,
it.
yep. Know exactly what it is.
Didn't we just have that conversation, Lisa?
Oh, did you?
Yes, we did.
Okay, feel that difference in there though?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you can plug my hair, that feels good.
Huh? What's that?
I said, you can plug my hair, that feels good.
I've just been wanting to feel your hair,
Oh, go ahead.
because it's
See, this is what you do.
core, it's It's not super coarse, but,
Not super fine either.
no, but it's thicker, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Mine was just, yeah.
And what are lats again? That starts in
Yeah. Good. And here's just FYI as well. If I'm gonna go work the stomach, I'm gonna make sure I at least hit the lat muscles.
I was just thinking that. probably would be
Okay.
beneficial.
That
Totally
makes
see that.
sense.
And what emotionally are these?
Lat muscles are generally your fear for the emotion, but it's your carrying things, carrying
Oh,
people.
so it's fear linked to that carrying.
Mhm. I'm not a huge fan of the lats and fear because that's just what I've heard. It's never made sense to me, but it seems to kind of be a fitting solution, but it's kind of more the fight or flight.
I would say, isn't that because
That's
it's
what it
linked in
is.
by fight or flight muscles?
So and that's the thing why when people go, oh, it's fear, I'm like, fight or flight doesn't really have fear with it. You know,
It kind of
fight
does.
or flight is shock. Something happens
Or
quickly.
self-protection.
Self-protection. But the fear generally comes after.
Oh, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so a lot of people associate fear here because after the trauma, this is where they hurt. So like, oh, it was so scary. It wasn't scary in the situation. It was shocking in the situation. And then they made an emotional sense of it, which is fear.
And as a massage therapist anyways, you said lats, deltoids, and pecs.
Mm-hmm. And one, that's where we work, so. There we go. Did you kind of feel it when I
I
let go,
totally
how
felt that.
how that rib cage went
Yeah,
underneath?
and
Yeah.
it released there too.
That's why, if I know I'm gonna even try and get into here, now the lower part, if they're having stuff in the lower part, then okay, but if I'm gonna do anything kind of from about mid up, I better make sure I hit those lat muscles.
That makes sense.
Cause you felt that, as soon as I let go, the
Yeah.
whole thing is just, so, now I can just kind of check it out and just see how, oh, you're curled.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna have fun. Okay. Let me get to your
Yay,
glutes.
yay.
Let me get to your glutes. Okay, so now I'm not putting a bolster under her right now because I'm not pushing the body this way. I've got a pretty good knot just coming down on a 45. I'm not having to go this way. But I know I'm going to. I'm just going to try and put it. Okay. So the knot was here, and I just pushed on it, and the more I pushed on it, it just dissolved, and it shifted me over here. So that's where we're going to go with that one. So we're just going to put it right there.
420 Blackbirds?
4 and 20. But you can, I'll just be here and I'll be like, 1, 2.
Falling off my chair.
I feel that one in front when I breathe.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
Good job. Ooh.
Toes were going numb.
Uh-huh.
You can see her gait, look at that.
Yeah. That's where she's stuck. Now, if I found something and the body's fighting me, I won't come off. I'll wait till it relaxes, because you guys saw what happened with James.
Mhm.
Yeah, she's getting the red in the face again.
Uh-huh.
Her
There we
ears are
go.
like,
There we go. So what do ears represent? Remember what ears represent?
Hearing.
Hearing?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
what organ?
Oregon. Sorry.
That's
I
all right.
don't know.
What do they look like? What organ?
They look
Just
like the
as far as
haters.
just the shape,
Just the shape.
just the
kidneys.
kidneys.
It's kidneys. Yep.
Does that mean that's linked to kidneys or is
That's
it
linked.
meridian?
It's linked to kidneys.
So how's the kidneys look linked to the glutes?
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. How did that?
Willpower.
Oh,
Your
so it's
kidneys,
not-
your spiritual chi, your willpower. Glutes are all about relationships.
Yeah, I have some difficult ones.
They're a pain in
But literally,
the, literally. People always say that, oh, there's such a pain in my butt, literally.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pain in the butt, pain in the neck. You ever say, oh man, they are a pain in my arm.
Hey!
Pain in my big toe.
Yeah, they never say it,
No,
but they always say, I just feel like I'm carrying burdens.
yeah.
And where do they rub? They rub the shoulders and neck, yeah.
Are you doing some zoning?
Just playing,
Just playing, I'm sorry.
just playing.
Oh, hello.
Oh, loosey goosey.
It's called the hip joint.
Oh, wow.
That's the legal type of joint in Utah. Okay, I want you guys to come look at how dramatic on her
Take that
is.
picture.
Oh,
Grab my
wow.
camera, take a picture.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You want a picture?
Yeah, yeah.
Grab her
Picture,
camera.
let's see.
Grab her camera. Can you
Can I take a picture of your butt?
Can you
Please.
feel a difference in there, Aim?
Oh, yeah, it feels like it's just,
Yeah, that's exactly. So Lisa,
like
let's go ahead and
everything
get
here
the
feels
end.
relaxed
Go
and
over
this
there.
feels like it's just.
Yeah,
get her good
yeah.
side.
Get her good side.
Oh, 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 oh.
You broke it.
Break
I
my
did,
camera,
sorry.
using up all my film.
Well, she's taking selfies of herself first, and then she's showing.
I am.
Click, 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 and it's gonna be in there.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I'm gonna
My
text.
kids are like, I wanna watch a movie, you know, so they watch a movie, and then I'll get my phone and look through pictures, and they're like,
Wait.
I'm gonna text
Yeah, we're good.
John and see how he's doing.
Yeah, we're good.
Great. Go to my mouth.
Well, let's see.
she's
Did you
gonna,
do a selfie?
yeah, she's in a selfie.
Did you want a selfie of you and my butt? Is that it?
I dare you.
Remember, you guys are on video. Amy,
Oh,
I'm gonna
Okay.
send these out to,
You don't
you
care.
guys are killing it. You guys are killing it.
Well, what?
dude.
Okay, so what I'm feeling here, Amy, is it's really tight.
Uh-huh.
As I'm actually moving your leg, I'm actually feeling little spasms going on down in here as well.
That is the knee that's
Okay, yeah. that's-
swollen, so
yeah,
it's probably.
Yeah, so I can actually feel that one. Right
That's
there.
sore?
That's the problem.
Oh.
Feel the difference on that side.
Mhm.
So what kind of knee is it inside knee pain, out, what is that?
Outside, swollen knee, top.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I have, I've had issues with this knee. I don't know if I probably still do. I've had a meniscus tear in there,
Mm.
Oh,
and I've had a little bit of arthritis on the medial side of it.
There we go. Did you feel that thing?
Yes. I didn't feel it up there, but I felt it just my
Just
leg.
let go?
Yeah.
Yeah, your whole body went tshing, and it jumped right there.
Ugh.
Oh,
oh,
now
yeah.
come take another picture.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Woo!
Oh,
you just gotta just
That
go.
feels good. That's okay.
Swipe.
They didn't leave a
Swiper,
message.
stop
that-
swiping.
I kept saying swipe.
Swiper, no swiping.
Okay, there you go. Got your shot.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
were you smiling?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Smile to the camera.
Let's see.
Are you
Your
adding-
storage is almost up.
Like I say, I don't have a lot of room in my
Yeah.
for pictures.
Okay, so what I thought I was gonna work on the front for the knee, it's actually gonna be on the back. We'll have plenty of time for that stomach. Nice.
And what made you change your mind on that? Where was it? Just
Because
feeling
of
it
how I
wasn't-
was feeling it,
Okay.
where it's moving from.
Yeah, that's all very swift.
Yeah, it's right in here.
And it wasn't the way the pain pattern.
Mm-mm. It's what I was feeling when I was actually moving her leg.
Okay.
I was like, oh, there's a knot down there. And it was spasming and letting go.
Okay.
Do you have clients the rest of the afternoon, Jared?
No, I'm done after you guys.
You breathe in with me, Lisa? Thanks.
And then the Saturday after you guys graduate, I'll only work with those who need just observation hours or whatnot. Other than that, like, cause my body knows
Uh-huh.
I should have Thursdays off.
Yeah.
Well, you need to have at
Yeah.
least one day during the
Mhm.
week.
And that's the thing, that's what I found is, I've tried to go Monday to Friday and take Saturdays and Sundays off, and I was exhausted.
Oh, yeah,
Come Saturday, I'm like, I don't want to do anything.
yeah.
But if I took a Thursday off and broke it up, I had more energy after I got off work on Saturday to kind of just do little things.
Do you typically work a full day on Saturday?
9 to 3 straight,
Mm.
but beginning of the new year, it'll be maybe 9 to 1, 9 to 2. There we go. Okay. The big one's right here, Marion. Yeah.
Not feeling it like I felt the other one. But
Mm-mm. I gotta get under.
But, I hate saying that because, it just takes a minute. Do you feel it now?
Okay, here it is. There she is.
trying to decide what to put on it, but
That's what
business
it's.
card. I'm gonna have some printed.
Massage therapist extraordinaire.
Well, once you graduate, you can put March certified also. LMT, March certified.
See, she just put, it's time for a massage.
I actually,
What?
I had somebody find me the other day.
Yeah?
They had just heard, they couldn't remember my name, but somebody told them, they're like, he's like the muscle whisperer, because he saw it on the card.
Mm-hmm.
You had that on your
And
card?
he typed in
Muscle whisper?
muscle whisperer in St. George.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
it came,
That's how he found me. I was like, that's a cool story.
That's awesome.
I'm like, that's cool. Yeah, it's on my card. Have you never seen my card? Go get one of my business
I
cards.
haven't seen
Yeah.
your card
Go
yet.
get one of my cards, Sylvia.
yeah, oh, I got one right here.
Oh, yeah, read what it
It
says.
says, muscle alignment reprogram specialist,
Mhm.
founder of Mark Technique and Muscle Whisperer.
Mhm.
Cool.
Oh, okay, you feel that thing? There we go. Okay,
Yeah,
so that's the big one, but I'm gonna chase it down.
I said I could
Just make
feel
sure.
it moving down, or feel it down that line, but it
Yeah.
doesn't feel it. I
No.
don't feel like it
Yeah,
did before.
okay.
Oh, wow.
We got one more.
Oh, yeah, that one's bad.
That one's decor.
Do you need a bullet to bite on?
Okay, so I want you guys to notice, come here. So this was a knot.
Mm-hmm.
This is where the real knot is. Look how close that's
Mhm.
together. That's how, that's that knot compass.
Okay.
And we went a little bit southwest. There it is. There she is. Ooh. There it is. Bingo. Bingo.
What's this movie?
There it is. Yep. See that pointed? There it is. There it is. See, that doesn't wanna. Can you feel that, Amy? I know you can
Oh, yeah.
feel it, but can you feel it?
Stuck.
Will you go look at that camera, make sure that you can just see it from down here? Make sure I got her foot and everything. Can we see it way down here?
Yeah, I was just,
Okay, that's fine. If you can
okay.
see the
Yeah,
whole
we
thing,
can see
that's
it.
fine. Okay. There it is.
I was gonna just tip it just a tiny bit, but yeah, you can see it.
There we go. Okay,
Oh, man.
do you feel that one?
Oh, yeah.
There
Oh,
we
yeah.
go. Okay, so look at now.
Mhm.
This is where we got that one. That's where
Oh,
the
my
big
goodness.
one was. Right there.
Yeah.
That's an
Oh, it feels
inch.
so good now. I can totally feel.
Okay,
Oh,
take a
was
deep
there
breath,
a
Amy.
bolster under my leg there?
What was
Was
that?
there a bolster there?
Yeah, I had this
Something
one.
was poking it too on that side.
Okay, so it was probably the bolster.
Okay.
So go onto your elbows. Because I want, yeah, you're gonna be a little lightheaded from that. Just kind of sit there for a minute. Oh yeah. Can you feel
Yes.
feel how your glutes not sucked up to your low back?
Yeah.
Okay. When you're ready, slide down and turn over onto your back. Just when you're ready. When you're ready. Because that was huge.
That
That's been
was.
there for years.
Oh, that was really bad.
Left side is on that is your unsurety, like being unsure, stabilize, stuff like that. But it's in the past. It's on the left side.
Past uncertainty.
Yeah, past uncertainty, and it was closer to the knee, which tells me it's a little bit more of an authority thing, which probably a mistrust of something.
Okay.
Okay, not anything big, but
That
just
makes
if you want to
sense.
know. Okay, can you feel the difference in here now? Just laying down.
Yeah.
You're still breathing, it's tight, but it's not like this.
Yeah.
You're actually
Release
wide,
the lap.
because we've released the lats. Mhm.
Has anybody heard from Trey? How's he been feeling?
He had to work.
I guess
Oh, he was
he's
feeling
okay
good.
then.
He was feeling good.
Okay.
He was feeling good.
'Cause he kept feeling,
Yeah, that's because the table was so low.
oh, well, okay.
And he was just leaning over.
He was
too
just
far.
leaning over too far and things were tightening, yeah. Okay, so she's really tight, both sides. But what I love is when she turned over, the rib cage kind of
Opened up.
relaxed out, it opened up, okay?
Okay.
That's one of the reasons why, because if they're coming in already tight, to lay down, it's gonna start tight. I'd rather have it loosened up, and that's why I work on everything else. It
Okay.
just helps,
Okay.
okay? Now, she's really tight here. It really doesn't matter what side of the rib cage you start on.
Okay.
You know, if they've got, if I've had gallbladder surgery or spleen surgery, whatever it is, then you can start on that side if you want to, okay?
I had knee surgeries.
Okay. Well, where she's really tight, like I can't even
Wow.
get into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what we've got to do, because there's not a lot we can do, so we've got to put slack on it. And that's just pushing the rib cage. Does that make sense?
Can I?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay.
Now let it out. I'm just going to follow it as it moves out. Now push it in again. Good, see how it doesn't want to even move?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, now let it out. There we go. See, now I can get under it. Now in there.
Okay.
There she is, right. So now I'm just gonna kind of find that rib cage and pull it out.
And you're pulling.
Uh-huh.
It's a different kind of pain, isn't it?
There she is. Okay. And I've got to switch my hand, because we've got to come in this way now.
Because.
My hands were really hurting this way.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't maintain that pressure of pushing in this way and up with a fly hand.
Okay.
So I just waited till it relaxed, then I came out to go back in. And sometimes, like, I have to push through my own pain until they relax to come out, shake it off, and then go in. There she is. This is good if you're gonna work with pregnant women. You can't go really deep, but where their stomach is, you can kind of grab the rib cage and just pull it out for them and massage under there. Especially if they can't breathe because the baby's sitting up in their ribs.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. Okay, I've got it. It's right there.
Ken, how much muscle are you specifically on right now?
I'm on the crease,
So the diaphragm.
so go over Sylvia to the one on that one, okay? So right there,
Right there.
that's where I'm
Okay.
at, okay? Because right here, if I grab that pec and pull it down, I'm doing oblique and pec and stomach and everything else.
Okay.
So if women have breast tenderness, would this be helpful with that too, moving that?
I don't know about that.
I know
I
some
would
of it's more
imagine
just in the breast tissue, but it seems like if we're working pecs and moving,
If, there it went. If they don't have implants, well, even if they have implants and they're just like my breasts hurt, then yeah, it's probably radiating up through the pecs. But I would work here and here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm where I want to be, because there's no other movement going on. She's not, I can't get in, because what, go ahead and push.
Yep.
Stuck.
She's stuck.
Oh.
Okay, There's no more rib cage. So that's where, now you just kinda, you can either, that's right, you can either go like this, you know, if that's comfortable, and you can stretch it out here. If not, you can bring it down and kinda move that shoulder like that as well. And that's not even moving it. So let's see if coming down, yep. So coming down, that's where we're stuck.
Yeah, there's a really sore spot there where your thumb is.
There's nothing. So I'm gonna hit. So there's the bra. And here's the, okay. There it is. There.
That was really sharp.
Yep. Okay. So what happened right there is I was kind of making her body not be able to breathe. So it finally just went just like that. And it just released it. What part? I don't know. Okay? Don't know. More than like, oh, there it is. Okay. There we go.
Fun stuff.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead and take a deep breath.
That feels so different,
Yeah.
breathing.
Mhm.
Wow.
Go ahead and feel, see this, you can actually get your finger underneath it now. And this is even loosened up.
Yeah, it has
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
Oh,
There
wow,
was
that's
no-
huge down there.
That's why it really doesn't matter. Like if they've had surgery or
this is
something,
Way, way different.
yeah, if they've had
Yeah.
surgery and something like that, I'm gonna tend to go to the surgery side unless that's really painful. So if some, like if she's like, I can't even touch this, but I can come over and get into this, less pain than this, I will come over here and work the less pain side, because when this really lets go, then I can come over here and this won't be as bad.
Oh, that's really different.
Yeah, that's gonna be tender.
So what emotions do we have through here?
Oh, this is your emotional decision making. So this is kind of like, so your quads are your sorting of pure, impure, all that other stuff, making a decision. And this is where it's kind of an emotional decision.
Like decisions based on emotion or making the decision through your emotions?
Making a decision, like feeling, like I feel I need to do that. I feel like it. And usually what happens is when we feel like we need to do something, we generally don't do it. Oh, I know I feel like I need to do it.
Uh-huh.
I can't.
I do that.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
You just get that, oh crap, I feel like I need to do that. And your body goes, no you don't. Okay. So I like flat hands because just to do this, a little bit invasive. So I'll go flat and I'll just kind of see where we're at. I'm like, okay, she's letting me in. Over here, she
It wasn't.
wasn't, not even close. So now, and on this side, I'm actually gonna come and just see and make sure that we're, okay, so we're a lot looser on this side. So now I'm just gonna push in. Now, when I let out, I'm bringing that in with it, there. Yeah, so she's stuck on this side too.
There's just stuff on her. Is this emotional constipation? Is that what
There you go, I like that.
pretty determined?
Maybe.
Well, here's the thing. So intestines, the small intestines are in charge of kind of sorting. It's just what we do. They sort what we need, what don't we need. They get rid of the junk. They send it along. Okay, they make a decision, they process it, and they move along.
Huh.
The intestinal jobs is to eliminate. All right.
Uh-huh.
So usually on the intestinal jobs, you know, people are either eliminating things too quickly, or they're not eliminating anything at all. Generally, when people are stuck, it's that they have a lot of projects going on, and they don't ever finish any of them.
Is that you?
Too many feet, too many flies.
So that's generally
7
what's going
books on the nightstand table, half read.
Half read, absolutely.
Or reading them all at once, but.
Mhm. But that's the thing is there's never a completion. There's never a completion.
Yeah.
So think about that as far as being constipated for a long time.
Interesting.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Like, I've just been so backed
Stuck
up
in
for
the
so long, I'm
process.
stuck.
Oh,
I
yeah.
just can't get things off my
Yeah,
plate.
interesting.
That's what a lot of stomach is. And here's what generally happens. A lot of stomach is, it's not eliminating, you know, because we can get through a lot of, you'd be like, oh man, I got 10 books, I want to read that one, that one, that one, that one, that's what I need, that's what I need, that's what I need. We can sort what we need, what don't we need. But what happens is we get backed up because we never finish the process. Your intestines aren't finishing the
Interesting.
process. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's very
And it
interesting.
doesn't mean that you only can do one project at a time and finish it. Great, you can have 2, 3 projects, that's fine,
Just finish them.
but finish them before you go on to another project.
Which is, oh, I spent Monday doing that before I left to come down here on Tuesday. Finishing all the little,
Finishing all the little, there we go, okay, did you feel that? Okay, she didn't pop here, she popped on the stomach muscle.
Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo!
Okay, so now, feel that difference in there?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's no tension on that anymore. Like it's, so I mean, come on, that pop.
Sore right
Yes,
there.
right. Yeah, it's gonna be sore, but go ahead and feel your, grab both rib cages now. Yeah, look at that.
Oh. I'm free to finish things.
you're joining us. How
So-
awesome.
How we do this,
Down
so how I
here.
coach my clients on this when they do it, cause there's a lot of good stuff. Does that make sense? There's a
Oh, yeah.
lot of good information out there. And if there's a book that you're like, you know what, that book is great to read, I'm gonna put that on my notes. I'm gonna put that on a list of, these are what I wanna read.
Oh yeah, I have a little list of those.
Yeah, because what happens is if you start to read it, you get backed up. It's just like, you know, we do it all the time. You know, we're like, well, I'm gonna focus cleaning my room, and I go take something into the other room and see something, so I start cleaning
Cleaning the
this.
kitchen, bathroom, and living
So
room all the
what's
same time.
happening
Absolutely.
is you're busy, but nothing ever gets finished.
Yeah.
And that's where majority of people
Live.
live. Is they're busy. Oh, how are you doing? Oh, it's so busy.
Yeah.
So busy, so busy. But what happens is, the closer they get to almost completing something, they take on 5 more projects.
Mhm.
So it's actually completing, it's actually taking something from start to finish. That makes
Hey,
sense?
I finished my massage therapy program.
Absolutely.
I am finishing
Absolutely.
this.
Absolutely. So here's the thing is, look at those books, whatever you have, and really look at them and be like, you know what? I'm never going to finish that book. And
Right.
I'm really never going to finish
Well,
that
some
book.
of
and I'm
them
really
I just
gonna-
pick up to grab a little information and then I'm done with it.
Okay, so eliminate
that's
them,
fine.
like put them away.
Fine.
Does
That's
that
what
make
I need to
sense?
do.
If you're like, oh, I need to study this, you're like, okay, you know what? Gosh, that's really good. I'm gonna go put it back.
That's
Because that's still even
Put it
an
back,
elimination thing is I'm gonna go put it back.
done for the moment.
I'm done
Yeah.
for the moment. And then when I need it again, I can go pull it out. Have one on your nightstand and have the rest put in a book. And if you're like, oh, you know what? Somebody says, I got a book for you to read, you just go,
Yep.
great, put it in my pocket. Does that make
Yeah, I've
kind
been
of
doing
sense?
that.
Yeah, she's moving a lot better.
Can you feel it just, I mean,
Yeah,
even
yeah, my whole everything.
everything,
Yeah, there was a little hole here.
that's gonna be fine. And that's
But-
because you can now stretch.
Yeah,
What
but it
I
was
want
more
you-
just kind of a stretch.
It's a stretch. Okay, so we work both sides, okay? For me, the oblique muscles on this side were tighter and more sore. So this side, the stomach muscle let go, the obliques weren't as tight. So I would have her roll that way,
Because they were.
because they were, I don't wanna engage the obliques on this side. The stomach
Okay.
would go on this side, does that make sense? So I would have you roll to
And
the
are
right
beliefs a
side.
different kind of emotional thing, or is that all tied in with all of this?
I haven't figured
Come
out.
on, Jared,
The
come on.
obliques just, they just attach
We're
the
here
front
to
to
test
the
your
back.
knowledge. They're attached.
They
and
just
stuff.
attach the front and the back. So that's I mean, the obliques kind of are your attachment from past, I mean, you have front, back, sides,
Let's see, this
left,
is
right.
Past, this is
That's
future.
future, but then you also have front, you have back. There's a lot of
Forward,
past,
back.
presents, forward, yeah. And then you
To
just
the
kind
table.
of sift off here. Now, I just want you to see what happens if we don't.
Yeah, but
Stabilizer. Can you feel?
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys, I want you to, when you stand up, I want you to feel how loose those are.
Well, everything just feels really good.
yeah. She looks younger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't that, when
Yeah.
she saw, I was like, there's just this visible countenance
Yeah.
change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so you stand up, see how that knee feels?
Way better, doesn't feel swollen.
Yeah.
That feels really good.
Okay, so go ahead and feel your stomach to stand up. Yeah, then you can grab that
A little
rib cage.
tender, yes.
Okay, and so
Yeah.
just walk around on that knee, see how that feels?
Oh, a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I can walk straight
Yep.
on it and it
Yep.
doesn't feel
Yeah.
swollen. I can feel a
Well,
little. That
I want
just
you guys
pops.
to notice her hips. Look
Yeah.
how down her hips
No,
are.
I can feel
Look how
that. They don't
down
feel
it
Yeah.
is. Uh-huh. Now just,
And
now
my
look
shoulders
at, look
feel
at the kind of the
relaxed.
pecs and the breast and the tissue. Can you see the difference like that? Look how this is more dangling down. It's
Open
inches,
outside.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and then even up in here, the shoulders are forward, so things just kind of drop down. Shoulders back, drop down.
See, so weight loss programs should include this.
Absolutely.
Any workout, weight
Absolutely.
loss should all include this, the
Yep.
beginning, middle.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. Yeah, it feels really good.
Good.
And I
Yeah.
don't feel lightheaded like
Yeah.
I usually do. That's
You,
so
you
interesting.
actually look 10 pounds lighter.
Ooh, I
Okay,
know.
so what I want you to do is I want you to get your sandals on and walk down the hall and go to the bathroom
Okay,
and really look in the mirror.
all right.
Look at the mirror yourself and then come on.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how I feel walking in my sandals too,
Yeah.
because.
Oh, yeah,
It's
yeah,
different.
yeah.
Right there. Look at these.
Well, and what you're gonna feel too, Sylvia won't feel it as much as you will because you have both sides, but you'll actually start to feel your lower abdominal muscles engage.
Like right through here.
Mhm.
That's, I was feeling.
Oh.
Yes, right there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what did you say was it when you were working on the leg, the calf down there? It's in the past. But what was it you said?
Past unsurety, and the closer it was to the knee, the more kind of authoritative figures it is. Mhm. But it's unstable, unsure, stuff like that. Foundation.
Would you be doing a video on emotions?
Just listing them or just writing out of
You guys have, no? Oh, you guys have the
I don't-
paperwork on
Get
the
it hit
emotions?
and miss though, you know, a little here, a little there.
No, I gave you the whole,
Chicken scratch?
yeah, I gave you the whole chicken scratch. Nothing really has changed since that.
Like you gave us a piece of paper?
It's
You
got
told
the-
us, you like read to us some different things.
Was it you guys? You guys
Mhm.
gave it
Yeah, with your man, your
to. Okay.
body and then your chicken scratch.
Holy cow, I gotta go back and find that. I just put that. Oh, I think. Hey, Rachel,
Yeah.
will you go into the office where the desk is and get that black, my black, it's not a briefcase, but my black
Bag.
bag? It's by the printer. Will you open that up? Will you grab the binder that's in there?
The work,
Yes.
do you want on here?
Yeah, just come look through that. We just open that and look through, see where, I think it's in there. Look in the back, it's probably in the back or in the front right here, Rachel. See if there's some anatomy, see if there's an anatomy section in there. There's that one, no, right there.
This one?
See if there's, yeah, will you go make a copy for Amy with those?
Of the front and back?
Front and back,
Do you want this to go back where it was after I made the copies?
Yes.
I can't remember, what was it, were you working on the hips and you said something, I said, oh wow, we just had that conversation.
No, it was, responsibilities,
Oh.
stopping, it was tricep deltoid.
Oh, okay, that's right, it was the arms.
Mhm.
And that was future, huh?
Mhm. So usually, cause it's stopping,
Blocking, holding,
you stop
okay,
it,
yeah.
holding something at bay, cause you're like, I don't know if I want that responsibility. Yeah.
And this spot,
What ifs?
that's rhomboids.
Huh?
That's rhomboids.
Yep. That's where I'm at, right there.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
And if not, it's all on the video too for you if you can't
Yeah, that's
remember.
true, I just wanted to
No,
just
that's cool.
jot it down so I had it all in one place. Sometimes it's hard for me to sort through videos.
Yeah.
Just grab a piece of paper and see it faster.
Amy.
Oh, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. A headache?
Yeah, I'm starting to get right through here. Right through.
More than likely, this is tightened, so we'll have to,
It might be.
if it continues, or it's water or drainage or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And you might just have to, in fact, because we're gonna be working the same thing that we worked on there,
Uh-huh,
I would just go lay down on one of the tables,
okay.
just close your eyes for about 5-10 minutes. That's probably what's going on, your body just is, that's an emotional drain to it.
Just say rest and
Yeah.
let it process.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Yeah, because it is, my eyes are getting a little.
Your eyes are getting tired, yep. Go close them, just take some deep breaths. If you happen to fall asleep a little bit, that's fine, but that's probably what's going on. Especially if it's kind of a headache and it's a little lightheadedness too.
Yes, a little bit.
Yeah. What you've got is a fluctuation of blood leaving and new blood coming up. Your body's kind of,
I'm resetting.
you're resetting.
I'm resetting.
Yeah. So grab a bolster and stick it under the back of your neck too as you lay on your back. There we go. There we go.
Snap, snap.
Huh?
Said snap, snap.
Yeah. What's happening is your body's getting to a point where it wants to release emotion, and then it just goes, oh, okay. And then it's just letting go. There. Ah, that's the one I wanted. Yay! I I need to go to Staples and get one of those, that was easy button. So I can hit it. That was easy.
You should.
Either that or they gotta make like a hallelujah one where you hit it, it goes, hallelujah.
Motab
Like
should make one of
Motab.
those.
I know Motab needs one of those, you hit it, hallelujah, hallelujah. Especially when it's like, finally, I need to hit that button. That was easy.
Well, you need both. One for when it was really literally that easy, and then the hallelujah for one that's being stubborn.
Which spot's that?
It's right where the rhomboids and the trap are meeting. There we go. So that one pop right there. There you go. Ooh. Oh, that was nice. That was good. Yes, yes.
Wave Ager?
I'm trying to get into it right now on the trap.
Okay.
Because as soon as I was trying to roll underneath it, it went just like that. So I'm going to loosen up the trap first and then go get the levator, which is kind of the opposite of what I normally do, but trying to find it, your trap just kind of sucked around my finger. So there we go. Okay. Now I'm going to go get it. That's the levator.
Allergies are giving me fits.
So now this side's not as tender.
Mm-mm. Told me sometimes if somebody says my left side is really, really, really painful, I'll actually work the right side first. Won't spend too much time, but I'll get it to release and loosen up so that the other side's not so tender. There we go. Yeah. Ooh, that's not even your levator scapula.
Again?
Nope, this is where we worked on James. That's where that erector spinae comes up and crosses right there.
Okay, could this be the reason why I'm having the headaches?
Oh, absolutely. That was an emotional, really. This is an interesting one.
Why so?
Yeah.
Because it's right where it's the neck and the shoulders towards the spine. So the middle of the spine is support. You know, the closer we get to the middle, the more divine, God, higher power, stuff like that is. And hers is right on the spine, but it's also the muscles. But it's attaching into the neck, which is almost I don't know quite yet because I can't move her head which way, but it's like looking at directions. And it could be looking too much into the future, where it's tightening, or it's looking too much into the past and the future is being stretched too far. But there we go. So it just jumped on that one. So I'm assuming, okay, I'm just assuming that she's been looking into the past and the future is kind of getting farther out the more she's looking into the past. That's what I would be assuming. I don't know if that has any ringing to you on that one.
I have been doing a lot of healing of the past and choices in mine and generational and
Okay.
changing and
Which would make sense here was the what ifs of the past.
mm-hmm.
Okay. Which is good. Some people, like for me, I look into the past at the choices I made so I can determine what not to do in the future. Okay? And some people will just be like, "Ah, we're just gonna, we're gonna go into the future. Yeah, I'm gonna make different mistakes." I'm the type of person I'm like, okay, I came to this crossroads about 15 years ago. What did I do? Okay, did that help? Did that take me where I wanted? So I can start to analyze it. Right, well, what if at that time I would have done there? Would I have been more prepared where I'm at? Blah, blah, blah. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So my bet is that's kind of more how you think.
It is.
See,
It
for,
is.
for me,
Yeah. So is there anything else too? Like, is that ringing a bell or?
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Part of my spiritual thing here in directions and looking is to verbalize my near-death experience, and I don't want to.
Mm-hmm. There we go. There we go.
And I was shown what I'm supposed to be doing in the future,
Uh-huh.
and I don't want to step into that role.
That sounds so stinking familiar. Yeah. There we go. There it goes. There we go. So what's one of the reasons? Is it feeling the lack of support? What if? Not sure which direction to take it? Too much responsibility? Carrying others on your shoulders?
Mm-hmm. It all fits.
All fits?
It all fits.
Okay. What stands out the most? If you're like, okay, this is the one that really... The other ones I can kind of get rid of because I understand that, but the one that I'm really the most nervous about, what would it be?
Combining the energy work and the spirituality with the body,
Hmm.
and how do I build a business around that?
Okay.
And step into the role of leadership.
Hmm. Okay. There you go. Okay, so a great book for you to read would be Dave Ramsey's Entree Leadership, if you want to. Okay, there's lots of leadership books out there. That's what I'm reading right now, and it's oh crap. I'm like, if I wouldn't have started reading this book, then I could still live in the I don't understand and know how this is going to work out phase of my life.
Yep.
So if you don't want to know and you don't want to step into it, don't read the book. There it goes. There it goes.
Well, I was told before
There we
girls'
go.
camp that it's time for me to show up.
I would agree with that one.
but it's time for you to what?
To show up.
And play a bigger game.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. Just go see how she's doing. Just make sure she's good. See in your stock. So it's the same thing Amy had. A lot of responsibility. Not so sure you want it to come yet.
Because what I was shown, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
You talk about bigger stage the other day, and I'm like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then sometimes it's like, well, who am I? Really?
It's just me. It's just me. Yep. Absolutely. Good. Good. There we go. We follow that.
Okay, which one's that?
I think the splenius capillus, and I'm quite sure it's a little bit tight.
A little bit?
We've got a couple of muscles hooked together. Splenius cervicis, that's what it is, it's right there. There we go. Okay, we're gonna have to get your neck after you get your stomach.
this due to my stubbornness or
This is glutes.
which one?
This is about relationships. It's close on the sacrum. So it's relationships probably with yourself.
Yeah, because I feel that rating date all the way down the leg.
Yeah. There we go. So go down to here. Or to go to the knee.
I went to the knee.
Okay, there we go. Okay, remember I talked about sciatica? It goes down to here. It's up here. If it goes all the way down, it's generally here. You know, a lot of times, how quiet I've been, that's how most of my clients are. We just, you know, and then there's some that like to talk more than others, and others that need more explanation.
So you're quiet because?
Just you can feel the energy in the room.
Okay. No, I'm not currently cracking jokes.
Mm-mm. There we go.
Okay, where you need me?
Just need you to breathe.
Okay.
That's range. Okay. I need you to go under your elbows. Let's make sure that low back feels pretty good along with the glutes. I need you to smile at the camera. And then lay down and turn over. I'm glad none of you guys are like wearing low cut tops today.
Yep,
Getting
there you
out
go.
of it. Putting on a show.
Good, good. Oh.
Okay. So as tight as she was, and what's going on here, before I get to here, I want to make sure that the hips are loosened up. Okay? Make sure all that is before we go into here. Alright? For the sheer fact is there's been just some emotional clearing. Alright? So emotional clearing, when they turn over, if they stay in that emotion, there's a chance that that they'll get really cold, you know? It's very vulnerable to go from emotion, okay, slide down, turn over, especially if there's been like crying or just something really going on. So if they do slide down and turn over, I tend not to work this, I let this calm down a little bit. So I'm gonna do the hips, let things sink in, and then we'll come up in here,
Yeah.
okay? Now sometimes they'll have just a huge emotional release and then all of a sudden they start laughing on themselves and be like, holy cow, where'd that come from? That generally means that they're kind of out of it. You know, they went down and they came out. Where Lisa just kind of was still, you just tell she was just kind of lingering there. There's lots of stuff going on. So I don't want to get too much into the emotion right now. I want that to settle on so there's not going to bring a lot about vulnerability. Okay? And sometimes they might get cold, or if they're like, I just feel
Shivery.
shivering. There's even somebody just said, I just don't feel safe. Like there's just I don't feel safe turning over. And I'm like, that's fine. That's why I have that heavy blanket that Rachel's got. I will just come and I will put it on them and they're like, okay, I feel better. Because this position is vulnerable, male, female, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
There we go. No, you don't have to, but this is, because I know her personality, the more I kind of work down here, the more we can kind of see if she starts climbing out of it, you know, before we go to the stomach. If she doesn't, going to the stomach, I know there could be something that comes out. Just to prepare myself for it.
Yeah, there's something that always comes out.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Notice I had her get up and just kind of wave to the camera. It didn't bring her out of it. She turned over and she just went right back to that mode. So you're still here. Does that make sense? But it's not good or bad. It's just I know what I can do.
Yeah.
Well, part of my resistance in voicing the near-death experience or what I've shown or my own personal instructions I've received of what's my next step, I don't want to do it because I don't want to be perceived as better than or extraordinary or, ooh, wow, tell me what's it like. It just... I just want to go back to being the wisecracking blonde.
Which you can. You still can. Because it's still part of you. Okay, so see now that she started talking again, then we can, it's kind of coming out of it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay? Before that, there was nothing. Does that make sense? There was nothing. So now that she started coming out and she said something, she's like, yeah, the blonde and going back. Okay. Now she's back. Does that make sense? So now, some of the things that I'd be like, here's some advice, or here's an opinion, or here's an idea. When somebody's on here, I'd be like, well, this is what I would do if I were you. It doesn't fly. Okay? So I'd be like, well, here's an idea. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah.
You know? If you think about it, and this is what came to my head, is our prophets and apostles, that's what they're called to do. But the times that when they step into that role is when they use that. Does that make sense? They're still dads, they still have personalities, they still have all this stuff. When they are assigned or when they step into that role, that's when that comes out. Does that make sense? So you can still be you, your wisecracking jokes and stuff like that, but then when you get into that environment that it's like, okay, now this is my time, now this is what I've been called to do. Are you following me?
Yeah.
Because right now it's like if I step into that role, I still like who I am. I like this wisecracking blonde, you know, stuff like that, which is awesome. So the mantle. The mantle of prophets and apostles, they're always gonna have. But the authority to use that happens when they step into that. Does that make sense? When I go home, I'm dad now. When I'm here, that's when I step into this mantle. You following me? And that's kind of an idea is you're afraid to lose who you are if you step into this role. Where you don't have to lose this, you're just like, hey, you know what, I still want you to be you. But when I'm calling you to teach, to present, to do something like that, that's when you're in this role. Because then when you go back to yourself, people are going to be like, oh my gosh, she totally is like this is awesome, I love her. Because that's what happens is when people have their presentation role, and when they try and stay into that role outside, that's when people are like, oh yeah, they're not humble. Does that make sense? On stage and presenting and doing that, you need to be in that role. And then when you're done and you meet people, then you can be like, oh my goodness, you're just like me, you're blonde, da, da. And people are going to be like, oh, I love her. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
For example, like I mentored with Kirk. Kirk's stage and Kirk by himself, two totally separate people. Does that make sense? Like his stage personality is nothing like who he is outside. Does that make sense? A lot of these big personalities and stuff like that, when they're out from the spotlight or something like that, they just go back to themselves. Our prophets and apostles are people when, like our bishop is a bishop when he's in that calling. Outside he's a dad and a grandpa, and blah, blah. Does that make sense? And that's who you are. But when you're put into that, okay, Lisa, I need you now to speak, and I need you to do this, that mantle is there, that's when you do it. And when it's done, then you go back to being you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because then you look at yourself and you go, this is really who I am. Why would anybody want to come listen to me? You're like, if people really knew who I was, then you're like, Lord, are you sure? Like,
Did you get the right girl?
like it's just me, like, you know. But the most successful people, they're totally different presenting than they are just by themselves. Because when they're in that mantle, they perform. And when that's done, they can go back to being them. They can go back to being relatable. A friend, a mom, a dumb blonde with purple hair. Does that make sense? Yeah.
It does. It does. Okay, so the spot that you're on is, since we're talking emotional,
You want to know what it is?
I do.
Stop!
I don't want to go do it.
It's just you're like, can I just curl up in a ball and throw a blanket over the top of me and just stay here?
Yep, that's exactly.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yep.
This is almost too big for me. I'm gonna go back to child pose. Does that make sense?
Well, it is big.
Huh? It's huge. I get it. I get it. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, ready?
Okay, ready.
Alright.
All right.
Did you notice? I would have gone here in the stage that she was at if I got done here and was like, okay, something needs to happen. But she came out and we started talking. Now she's like, okay, let's go get it. I'm ready.
All right. Yep, let's go.
Okay. Good morning.
She's alive.
Hey! That felt good.
Yeah.
Oh.
I kind of figured that's what you needed, a little reset.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I laid down, I just felt like everything was just shifting and moving and it all is settled.
Your ladies are right.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hurt.
See, there we go.
Laughing
There it is.
doesn't help.
No, here you go.
does help.
No, here it is. There it is. There we go.
It helps release.
You mentioned, it's just,
There you go.
oh, baby, that was like, it was funnier in my head, but
Uh-huh.
seriously.
See, there you go. And you just let them.
Holy bear. Oh my goodness, okay.
You still got more to laugh at. See, she's still.
Oh, holy, oh yeah. Whew. Oh, yep, sorry.
There you go.
Yep,
See?
yep. Mm.
And you can tell this in the muscles. Because even though she calmed down, that muscle stayed here. And then then she looked at me and I was like, you got more than she did.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's just, oh my goodness. It hurts.
It does hurt.
It's a woo. Yeah.
It hurts.
That's a woohoo.
Woo-hoo. Yeah. Woo. Okay. Doing good.
Okay.
All right.
There you go. Good. Hey, you're not breathing either. There we go.
Still a woohoo.
It was still a woohoo. She laughed and she didn't push me out. See,
Oh,
I'm still in there.
yeah.
Nice.
There you go. There you go. That's where they are.
My goodness.
Yeah. So now, here's the thing. How I would, if I would have gone in there, in that emotional here, we either would have had more resistance because we didn't want the crying to come out, okay? Where with the laughing, it was just easier to come out. I mean, it just came out and then she couldn't stop and stuff like that. It's the exact same thing. The crying eventually would have come out, but when people feel like they have to cry, there's just a little bit more resistance than just a thought and a laugh and going, it just opens it up, okay? Once it calmed down, even when she started laughing again, when it let go, it still didn't kick me all the way out. I could still, there was still just some bounce in there. And my fingers are getting a little tired from just going into that, so I just used my knuckles, so they were like this, okay? Yes, my hands do get tired.
Oh, man.
This is the problem side.
Oh, is that the problem? Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to use them. I can use these. Okay, there you go. Good, 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 good. Okay, now this side. Just a little bit more stomach than oblique.
Okay.
There you go. Okay, I want you to relax your jaw as you breathe. So don't, just, there you go, there you go. Good. No, you can do that. You can go, just don't, there you go. Now see what that does? So when you do that, you have to push more. So if you're gonna, like, just relax your cheeks if you're gonna do that. Just go, there you go, there you go, there you go. I'll explain that to you guys in just a minute. There you go. Almost there, almost there.
God, I feel like I should do it.
Yeah, no, don't do that. I got it. Oh, here she is. Got it. There it goes.
Dang.
There you go. There you go. There you go. There you go. Good.
Okay. All right.
You're still stuck in your comfortable. There, that's what was hiding. Ooh! That jumped your left side. Do you feel that thing?
Oh no, I'm just focusing on.
Good. Okay, now take a deep breath. That let go here, and it jumped
Whew.
right there.
Whew.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay, take a deep breath.
Huge difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah.
Okay, legs down.
Dang. Dang.
Yeah. Okay, so
Okay.
what was happening is when you're working on the stomach, she was breathing like this. And she was okay. When it started getting tight, she went.
Mm-hmm.
That embouchure forced her stomach to tighten to breathe out. I needed it in her diaphragm. Does that make sense? So that's when she still had to do this. So I went, and she went, and I went, no, do this, go like that. And she went, and so it did it shifted it from the diaphragm to the stomach. So if you're doing it, if they go like that or anything like that, they're going to be using their stomach muscles more instead of their diaphragm. So if you're in their stomach, they need to use more of their diaphragm, which they need to keep their mouth relaxed. Okay. It's going to take about 30 seconds to pop.
Yeah, still a little headache.
Here we go. And 5, 4. That's going to draw me in, just to let you know. Alright. 4. There we go. There we go. Ho 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 ho.
Yep.
I was just telling Lisa, I'm glad you guys didn't wear low-cut shirts today when you got up. 'Cause
Hello,
there we
I was
are.
like, that doesn't, I better put something else on.
that's probably a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's even stuff that I look for when they come in, if they're laying down. Because I have them go, you know, if I'm sitting down here, I'm like, oh, go up onto your elbows. Like, even that stuff I remember, like, okay, we're going to, you know, I'll
That's
turn to the side, you know, I'll stand to the side and have them come up.
Yeah,
And that's actually become a habit now.
good for you. I'm gonna have
There we
to
go.
check my,
I'll check it.
Right,
Yeah,
here we
I
go.
did it. There you go.
my jaw was doing so good the other day when you let go of this, but it's feeling a little
Okay.
tight right now, just chewing on.
And it's probably settling a little bit. There you go.
So what was that big monster?
That was the splenius capitis right here.
Okay.
So that's where the levator, splenius capitis, and the trapezius all meet.
Yeah.
Yeah. How you feeling?
Good.
You look good.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
Just sit there.
Next.